So that was an incoming call from Vito, who I had to actually call a lifeline regarding the potatoes this morning.
That man knows a lot about potatoes.
So he was saying, honey, the potato had to be hot. Yeah, okay. So my dad made a potato recipe here. He used to do a potato omelet when he was in charge. And I called him this morning and said, I kind of forgot how you used to do your potatoes. So he was giving me a little quick oversight. I only missed 2 components, so I did all right. I'm just going to stir the onions, and we're going to just talk to you about the humble potato today. That's what we'll be doing 2 different ways.
Yes, potatoes are very, very sustainable food. They belong in the same food group as tulips, apparently, which I just found out about today. Kind of a weird fact, because tulips are flowers and potatoes aren't. Although potatoes do bloom and do flower when they are in the growing stage. Potato flowers used to be very popular at parties because they looked very nice, and aristocrats used to flaunt their wealth with them.
All right, so for our potatoes today, the challenge, which we chose to accept, was do something with the humble potato. And as you know, there's a lot that can be done with a potato. So we're going to do 2 different ways. One is the omelet filling that my dad used to do, which is great, so we'll show you how to do that one. Super simple. The other one is roasted potatoes with North Indian spices. And this one, our chef Ariel, who is my breakfast chef, we miss you, Ariel.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Any case, she's one that brought these North Indian spices to our kitchen.
Yes. And
they're really good. So Justice is going to start peeling potatoes. Right now these are russets. There's reds, Yukon Golds. One recipe actually, the roasted North Indian ones, calls for reds. I didn't have reds, so we're using the russet potatoes, which we've done in the past. So that's what we're going with. Basically the difference in the potatoes, some recipes do call for the Yukons, which have that real thin yellow skin, but they stand up better to frying in different applications, especially when you're double doing something. Let's say you're roasting them and then frying them, as in the Phoenicia Diner potato recipe that's in their cookbook.
Nice.
It's like a not twice baked, but a twice processed potato.
Twice processed.
Roasted and then fried.
Yeah, so you need very hearty, very strong, good-celled potatoes or something like that.
Yeah, those are the Yukon Golds. These are russets. So Justice is going to start peeling those. And we're just going to come over here to the stove, and I'm going to show you what I have on. I cut 1 onion, and I have that sauteing with some little bit of oil. I have my bay leaves. What do you do with a bay leaf, Justice?
You make sure to count them in, and you make sure to count them out.
Count them in, count them out. I have 3 bay leaves in there. I also have a little bit of salt, and I used actually the rosemary salt that we made the other day. Then over here in this pot, I have big pot O potatoes. Those are just about done. We cubed them. I'm going to pull one out, and we're going to see how hot that is. Not hot, how cooked that is. So those are done. Woo! Hot. All right. Likewise, I have in the oven my first batch of North Indian spiced potatoes, roasted potatoes. So come on down here. There's my timer. Supposed to toss those every so often, which is why my timer's on, and turn them over. I'm not turning them over, that they're not yet ready yet, because my oven is painfully slow. So we're going to put you right over here with Justice.
Oh, hello, hello.
And we're going to start with the potatoes going. I'm going to strain the potatoes that were just on the stove. We'll show you how to do those in a minute as far as the cubing and whatnot. I think pretty much everybody might know how to do that, but watch your back coming behind you. Not really sure.
Always good to give a warning in a kitchen. I used to work bus service here for breakfast service, you know, bussing tables and all that. And anytime Ariel would come behind you with a knife, she'd tell you, or anytime we'd walk behind each other, we'd tell each other, communication is key in a kitchen, because there's a lot of hazardous objects, like hot potatoes.
Potato, hot potato.
Hot potato, hot potato. I don't know how the rest of the song goes.
Coming behind you again. I have the potatoes strained pot underneath, catching some of the potato liquid, which is the starchy potato liquid. We'll be using that as well. All right, my onions are just about done. So we're going to come back over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these bay leaves. Bay leaf 1, bay leaf 2, and bay leaf 3. Nice. Taking my potatoes that just came out of, let's see if I can put this up here. Just came out, off the stove there, out of cooking. We're going to put those in there. Beautiful. Take some of that liquid and put some of that liquid in there. Just grab some of it for right now. Sizzle. Mix that up. Now you don't have to use this just for a breakfast omelet filling. It could be a side dish as well. It is a wetter potato, that's why we reserve that liquid. Now we're just going to do a bit of seasoning with it. The potatoes were a little al dente, but still cooked through. Our seasoning is going to be Italian seasoning. Sure, I'll have Justice hold it because I'm actually balancing. Thank you.
Flip this
nice
all
and
around.
easy. Don't flip people too fast.
There we are.
You get upset belly. Okay, Italian seasoning, granulated garlic. Garlic. I love garlic. Salt and pepper. We're using white pepper. And the reason why we use white pepper, it's stronger pepper. Some in there. Now my dad always loved to do his on the spicier side, so we have the Cajun seasoning. The Louisiana style. And salt. When you make your potato, when you boil your potatoes, you have to salt the water just like when you make pasta. So I salted the water with regular kosher salt. I'm going to be using my rosemary salt here. Just give another flavor, another layer. Potatoes are salted, and they're salted again. Excellent. And we're going to toss that around. Probably could have done with another onion in here. Up to you. Beautiful. Okay, if it's a little dry, you add more of the potato starch water. I'm just going to shut that off. To me, that's done, and we're going to start on the North Indian spiced potatoes.
All right,
So
what should we do?
bring it back around. So,
Back here.
yep.
That.
I'm going to get one of those camera sticks that follow you no matter where you go. I think that'll be nice and easy. Okay, so we're going to go this route. Okay, roasted potatoes with North Indian spices. We're going to do 3 pounds of potatoes, quartered, actually diced down to, you could do, I guess, whatever size you want to. I'm doing smaller cubes. And we're going to do 3.5 tablespoons of cooking oil. And we're going to divide that. So while he's peeling potatoes here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we do the seasonings to put those in. But you're going to stay right there, and I'm going to come around.
Yeah,
So in my pan, I'm going to put in my oil. So it's 3.5 tablespoons divided. I'm just going to eyeball it because that's how I do things.
Cooking isn't an exact science.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes. Baking.
Baking's an exact science.
Yes. But cooking comes from the heart, you know?
Where does baking come from? The
Baking baking comes from the stomach.
The belly. All right. So I have my oil on, and what we're going to do is warm that up and put in mustard seeds. So I have black mustard seeds, which is what it calls for. And then I also have yellow mustard seeds. So it's calling for the black. I have both. Rather than doing just 1 3/4 teaspoon of black, I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of the black and 1 teaspoon of the yellow. My teaspoon going here. All right. There's my teaspoon. It's actually my half teaspoon. There's my teaspoon. Okay, I'm going to bring it this way, Justice. It's hot. It might be popping at you. Nope, not popping yet. That's okay. It's still hot. Mustard seeds.
I can't quite see that one. There. So that's what it looks like.
The reason why my pan has that bit of an orange tinge is because I've already done one batch, and the turmeric turns your pan and your spatula and all of that different colors. Next I'm going to have, let's take a look here, I'm going to have 3 cloves of garlic minced. Get my little Pampered Chef garlic mincer thing. And 1, 2, 3 cloves of that. Just going to put this in. You can, of course, if you don't have one of these, just do it the old-fashioned way. So
What is
3.
the old-fashioned way?
The old-fashioned way would be to crush the garlic and then chop up the garlic super fine into a little mince. This tends to be a little bit, I don't know, quicker and easier. I also have, what I'll also need is my so strong.
So what is it that the chef needed after he crushed up a whole bunch of garlic and ate it? Mince. I just thought about that one right now.
Oh, you are on fire. We're also going to need some ginger. My ginger is in the freezer. I don't know if you can hear my mustard seeds. They're popping, so I'm going to take them off the heat so we don't lose them. Turn them around a little bit. Beautiful. I'm also going to need my ginger, which I have in the freezer, and we're going to grate that. It calls for minced ginger. And if you've been following us, you know that I keep my ginger peeled in the freezer, and then I just use the mandolin to grate it, and it's all done. So I'm going to grab that for 1 moment, right behind you.
Alright. I think we're due for another fact. You see, during the both World Wars, there have been many people known to, while fleeing places like Germany or France, come across fields of potatoes out of season, especially after they've been harvested, and pick up all the tiny little spuds that were left behind, and for hundreds of miles traveling on just some tiny potatoes as they traveled, they survived.
Nice.
Potatoes are a good survival food.
They are good survival food.
Easy to cook.
Okay, so I have my ginger, my quote-unquote minced ginger, which is about 2 teaspoons, and I'm going to take that and put that in with the mustard seeds. Then we're going to cook that a little bit. I'll grab this here. And there goes my ginger and my garlic. Beautiful. You can actually smell the ginger as soon as it hits the oil. I'm going to return that to the heat, but I'm going to lower that heat down. And I'm going to grab, the recipe also calls for a jalapeno. Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Javier.
I don't have a jalapeno, but I do have really hot peppers that we grow in the garden. And when we pick them at the end of the season, we dry them out so they're still whole with the seeds in them. And then after they're dried, we'll put some in the reach-in fridge or dry them and pack them, put them in the freezer, or if they're super dry, then just pack them dry.
All right. They say that if you have like a sore throat, if you take a potato, slice it roll it into a scarf, and then wear the scarf with the slices of potato around your throat. It'll solve the sore throat overnight.
Huh. I wouldn't doubt it.
Could be
Okay,
a
so
wise
here's
tale,
my pepper. It is super fragile. Seeds just came out, super hot, and it's just kind of breaking apart and falling apart, which is good.
That's what we want.
It's what we want.
We want structurally unsound peppers in this house.
All right, so my garlic is going, my ginger's going. We're going to go ahead and put the peppers in as well.
Oh, you can smell that.
Yeah. My mom called and I had a little bit of a coughing fit. She's like, why are you coughing? Are you sick? I was like, no, I got a pepper oil in my mouth. Because my mouth was, not my mouth, my face was over this while it was sauteing.
So you're breathing that all in.
I was bringing that in and I was like, get me right there. Beautiful. So that is on the heat, that is on low. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and gather my the rest of my seasonings. I have a teaspoon of turmeric. So I got my turmeric. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of that. This is what makes everything orange. Okay, I have a half a teaspoon of garam masala. Garam masala is a North Indian spice. Basically, it's cloves and cumin. So if you don't have garam masala, but you do have cloves and cumin, I'm sure you can come up with a bit of a recipe for that concoction. May have some other stuff in it. I'm not well versed in North Indian spices, but hey, if you have a neighbor, maybe they have the spices for you. Okay, so the garam masala, turmeric, salt, and I'm going to go ahead and use the rosemary salt because I haven't. I think just adds another nice flavor. And my salt is 1.5 teaspoons. So that's 1 and about 1/2 teaspoons of salt. This is all ready to go into the pan that's on the stove. So we'll do that.
Send it right in there.
Send it right in there.
Ooh.
If you have somebody else in your house, they can go ahead and be stirring this while you're gathering all the other ingredients. Oh, you smell the pepper? Don't smell the pepper.
I'm not over where you're at, no. Not yet.
Woo! Nice. Love it.
Listen, I didn't come here this morning expect to be crying over the potatoes.
All right, and there's our spices. What this is going to do is going to go on top of the potatoes that are diced. Oh, I love cooking.
So
Okay.
you basically just pepper spray this up.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take some of these potatoes. So Justice was cutting them, about 3 pounds, and once they're peeled, you put them in water to keep them from browning. So kind of by spatial awareness, try to get the same sort of cubes cut.
Yes.
If you have little bits that need to be cut out, you could just go ahead and cut those out. Get rid of those.
I'm sure it's pretty easy after I've been, peeling it, because my potatoes end up peeling and looking like squares.
Are you just peeling too much off or what?
I'm getting better. It's a learning process.
Okay.
Here, shall I throw all the remains?
You're going to throw the remains away.
Although I'm sure there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, some things, I try to keep everything, but potato skins, unless you were maybe to fry them, kind of on their own, that would be great.
Crisps.
All right, so these are the potatoes. And then what I'm going to do is I will stop here, just so you don't have to sit here and watch me cut all these potatoes. Yeah. So you're going to have your potatoes done. In the perfect world, what I did earlier was I already had my potatoes with a bit of the oil. Remember, we had the oil divided. So we have that.
Toss it all in.
Toss it all together.
You see, the issue about potatoes when they're peeled like this is they kind of look like apple chunks.
They do.
So if I needed glasses and I didn't have them, and I came and saw this, I'd think, apples and lemon.
You know, it's funny. One day Uncle Stefan and I were in the restaurant kitchen getting ready for school.
Yes.
And, you know, my parents had late nights, so, you know, they didn't get up and make us breakfast or anything, which is fair enough. So I went in to, we're getting ready to go to school and going to...
So this is when he would eat the large chunks of cake and you'd have cold cereal?
Yes, my brother would have these big giant chunks of this rich chocolate velvet cake and like a half a gallon of milk for breakfast.
You're big and
I had a bowl of cereal. But I went, I was really thirsty one day and I wanted apple juice. So I go to the pantry shelf and I pull down this gallon of what I think is apple juice. Yeah, it's the apple. And I pour a big glass and I just started chugging it, and it was apple cider vinegar.
Ugh.
I was like, ugh.
It's got to be good for
I don't
you.
remember the rest of the day. All right, so what's going to happen with this is then you putting it on a parchment lined baking sheet. You're baking it in your oven at 400 degrees. I'm going to grab the other one that's already been working.
Let's see the comments here. Hello, Natalie. She said, hey, Justice.
All right.
All right, so to turn to what we've already made.
These are the potatoes, North Indian spiced potatoes. They're still roasting. Just going to turn them again.
In the process.
They will be done when they're done. No, they take about, I think, about 50 minutes, 50. They're beautiful. They're going to crisp up a bit on the edges.
This is fantastic. Like it smells so rich.
So aromatic.
So aromatic.
Aromatic. You can go ahead and finish up. So when these are done, when they come out, so you're going to turn them every 15 minutes or so. When they're done, you're going to toss them with fresh chopped cilantro. I don't have any fresh chopped cilantro because I'm not going to the store, but also because our cilantro hasn't come up. However, what I do have is when we have mounds of cilantro growing in the garden, we do a cilantro chutney, which is beautiful. Basically, it's your pureed cilantro. Sorry, the pepper. Pepper. Stray pepper flake. And so I'll toss the potatoes with that cilantro chutney. You're also going to put in so it's a half cup of fresh chopped cilantro, or I'll be doing the chutney. Half cup chopped fresh mint, which I believe we do have some mint coming up, so I'm excited about that. 1 tablespoon of lime juice, fresh lime juice. And that's it. You're going to toss it all together and you're going to serve it nice and warm. You can serve it with some lime wedges as well. Makes a great side. We actually do these potatoes, and you could do this with cauliflower too. So if you're not a big, white potato fan, you could do sweet potatoes, or you can also do cauliflower.
Cauliflower's a good idea.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's actually that sounds good.
So nice cauliflower, a little bit less in carbohydrates, and get more veggies, or maybe do a combination. If you are doing combinations, sweet potatoes do cook quicker than white potatoes, and of course your cauliflower as well. I would not personally boil the cauliflower or steam the cauliflower. I would just do it raw in smaller florets, kind of like the Moroccan cauliflower that we did the other day. I would do something like that. You can go ahead and enjoy it as a side, or you can do it in your frittata or your omelet, or as a side with your scrambled eggs. So we love you guys. Distance together. We have the North Indian spiced potatoes. We have the Vito potatoes with the onions and the Cajun. Have a great day. We love you all.
Hey,
Be well.
Wait. This is pretty good, right?
Yeah. Watch the knife.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Knife is there. Potatoes are here. They're good chunks. We are awake and happy this morning. Awesome.
Distance together.
Distance together. Bye.